Alright, and here we are at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Sorry for the delay, we had an internet issue up until just about 10 minutes ago, so we were just able to set up, Kyle was able to set up in the other room as well, and we're finally able to get these events underway. So it's going to be a little bit quick, a little bit hectic, but right now here we are at Atlanta for round 5 of the HostVenom Cup Series, and should be looking forward to a great race. This is going to be the first race with the new package, so this is going to be a fun one to watch. A lot of unknowns here. These guys actually got a kind of used to the old package, or sorry, the new package at yeah, so sorry, I was just my previous stream was I heard myself talking in my ear, but these guys got some experience with the newer package just recently with from last week at Auto Club, which unfortunately we could not stream due to it being a build week, and we were unsure if there would be any problems, as we've had some problems in the past there. But currently we're looking here at Scott. His paint keeps loading, and this is very last minute setting this up. But you see Scott Eckridge coming down to pit road. Currently our points leader, I'll throw that up during the last chance qualifier race when that goes up in a few minutes here. But Jeff Ward is currently sitting on pole. Brian Yazik is going to be in second, and qualifying is just now completed here. So now getting ready for the last chance qualifier race, and it looks like we're going to have Nick Cohen, Daniel Roper, Rich Jett, and Jerry Mackey. Oh, Jerry Mackey ended up joining as a driver. So that's just quite interesting. Unfortunately, he's not going to be racing. So that's some interesting stuff. Again, very, very last minute. Even Jarrett ran into some problems here. I'm waiting for him to get up in the booth, hopefully as soon as he can. I think he's just loading in now. But he had a blue screen issue with his computer. So a lot of problems here at SYM TV all of a sudden out of nowhere. But Nick Cohen, Daniel Roper, Rich Jett, Kelvin Flar's going to be in the last chance qualifier. From the looks of it, we're going to have 39 drivers taking the green here, so a little bit down from weeks past, but still going to have a pretty full field. Just not a lot of people going home here, but we're currently pacing, and I don't have, there we go, this should finally get car focus on the track. Here you see Nick Cohen, Daniel Roper, and Rich Jett, and while these guys are taking the pace lap, I'll also open the ticker here, and while I'm at it, I will also show you the point standings. So currently, that's not set up properly, so never mind. I won't do that. I do know Scott Eckridge is leading the points after a fantastic last few weeks. Just now taken the lead of it, so he's going to be leading the charge there. But here we have Cohen, Roper, and Rich Jett. Nice to see Daniel Roper back in the car. I've been missing him for the last few weeks, and definitely a really fast driver. I expect him to do a lot here tonight with these cars. Here we got the pace car, and now it's going to pull off again. This is just a last chance race to get people into the show, just kind of set the order, but pace car is going to pull off, and these guys are going to go racing for only 3 laps here, so pace car is off, and green flag is here for the last chance qualifier race at Atlanta. Dan Roper on the outside of Nick Cohen as they head off into one. Rich Jett in behind, and again, expect pretty much all these guys to be pretty fast in the show. It's kind of uncharacteristic to see them down this far down the order. And Daniel Roper would now look into the inside of Cohen now as they head off into turn 3. And Daniel Roper is going to lead the first lap here. Nick Cohen stuck in behind Rich Jett, and you're seeing a lot, kind of a small example of what's to come here. You can see these guys pretty much forming a pack right along with each other. Here comes Nick Cohen, full throttle around the outside, a lot of on-throttle time with these cars. And he's going to look to the outside of Daniel Roper as they head off into 3. He's going to try to pin him down. Very hard to pass with this newer package in the first few laps. Everyone is just so equal, but here they come off of 4. They're going to get the white flag here. And again, this is going to be qualifying for a 36th place here, so they aren't fighting for too much here, but still fighting for at least something. And Nick Cohen still working around the outside. You can see Rich Jett now looking on the outside of Cohen. See, where do you go with this kind of stuff? But here, nonetheless, side by side, Nick Cohen and Daniel Roper off of turn 4. Who's going to get it? Oh, they door each other just a little bit. Oh, a little bit more action as Nick Cohen is going to try to beat him to the line. And it's going to be Daniel Roper by 7 thousandths of a second. It actually corrected itself at the line. So very close finish for them. But we're getting ready now for the main event. Actually, we got some warm-up here. 2 minutes for these drivers to just kind of feel out themselves just before the race gets underway. And we'll take a look. We'll try to catch some of the action on track again. This is one of the first race. I believe this is the first race that we're broadcasting on SYM TV with this new Cup package. And again, what that entails is a lot more downforce for these cars. You can see notably on the rear wing of these cars, it's a lot bigger. It's pretty much like the 2014 wing in that respect. So these guys have a lot more downforce to play with. Also, reduced horsepower is the correct terminology. So these guys have less horsepower at their disposal here. They only got 550 as opposed to the 700 plus that they had before. So it's led to a very pack-like style of racing that we're going to see. And it's been very entertaining in NASCAR in real life, but it should be very entertaining here on iRacing with everyone just that much more equal. I mean, with the fixed setup, people were pretty equal with their equipment, but now it's just going to make that even more so with this newer package. And again, a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions about this newer package. But, if anything, we're kind of stuck with it, so you can't really complain too much because it's not going to change for at least a little while here. But here we see mostly everyone's kind of stuck out. Oh, here's a little pack up ahead of John Rodden. I'm trying to see who's involved in this. 47, Dustin Schwingle, and you can see a little bit of a preview of what's to come here. We're only going to have about half a lap until the green flag drops. And again, just still waiting on hopefully my partner Jared Mackey to jump out into the booth. So hopefully he can join us. But checkered flag's going to be out. And we're going to get ready to go racing here. We got 39 cars ready to take the green flag here. And should be a fun one. Or sorry, 38 cars coming to take the green flag here. Although again, -1 car with this big of a field is going to be a tall order. So I'll try if I can to actually I'll just throw it up on the side here. So that's your qualifying order here. I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to go through the entire field, but we'll try to get through mostly everyone. But yeah, Jeff Ward's going to be starting on pole with Brian Yazik to his outside. Thomas George, Scott Eckrich will be row number 2. Gabriel Perry, Tim Stillman. Row 3. Row 4 will be Gail Brooks, Brian Green. And row 5 will be Drew Carroll and Philip Radocic in 10th. That'll be your top 10 there. You can see the rest of the field roll across the screen as we get ready to go 130 laps here at Atlanta. And if you're just watching it, we had some problems earlier with the internet being down. So fortunately, we were able to fix it for tonight and get everything back up and running. So as we see the pace car roll off here and see the field getting ready to take the green, I'll also throw up the gridding graphic here and quickly find it. So slightly disjointed start to the stream, but we're up and rolling and ready to go for 130 laps here with this new Cup package. Should be very close racing, should be very intense racing, and we'll see how these guys handle this newer package. Again, a lot of news for these drivers. This might be some of their first races at Atlanta with this new package. There's quite a bit of testing during week 13 when iRacing deployed the build, actually just last week. So, but some of these guys might be completely new to how it races here at Atlanta in particular. So these guys got to kind of get up to speed as much as they can here. But there you see the gigantic field all rolling off of turn number 2. We got 39 cars on the grid here and getting ready to start this race. And Alright, we're back here at Atlanta. Had another spout of technical difficulties. Unfortunately, missed the first 5 laps of the race. I do apologize again. This is kind of something out of our control. We're kind of at the mercy of our internet, however it may be. But we just had a caution from the looks of it, and majority of the field is down on pit road. Unfortunately, I cannot pull up what happened because I completely lost connection to the server. So was just able to get back into the session. Fortunately, there was a caution, so we can kind of catch back up to speed. But from the looks of it, Evan Adams and Justin Rodden got involved in an accident. That took their cars out, as well as Mike Hurley here in the 32. It looks like he's got some damage to his car, so he's going to try to fix that and hopefully get that car in repaired condition. So again, do apologize for all the technical problems that we're having here tonight. Unfortunately, it's again kind of out of our hands. We're trying to deal with it as best as possible. So hopefully the ticker also correct itself. We're currently on lap 6, and we got 1 to green here. That should sort itself out shortly. But we're going to get ready to go back green here. And from the looks of it, I forgot also this was a new rule that was implemented for this week. After last week, there was some problems at Auto Club, so single file restarts, I believe, for the rest of the season for the field of HostVenom Series, as at least to my understanding. So this is kind of just to calm down, and this is mostly due to the fact with this newer package, these guys get so crazy on the restarts that this is kind of in an effort to calm them down. These guys will probably be 2 and 3 wide by turn 3. I wouldn't be too surprised with that, the draft being that effective. And again, I apologize for all the white cars that are currently, as Trading Paints tries to go through and refresh the field. But nonetheless, Jeff Ward's going to lead the field back to green. Thomas George, Tim Silman, Gabriel Perry, Brian Green, your top 5 running on the track here, half a lap from retaking the green flag. So it should be interesting too. This is going to be a new one for these guys to do a single file restart, almost like an IndyCar. And just like an IndyCar, these guys protecting the outside lane, because you can pass on the outside, you can't pass on the inside. So pace car here is just about to make the left turn off to pit road and getting ready to get the restart here, coming to lap number 7. And you see Ward got underway, and green flag back out here at Atlanta. For a very tame start. As I say that, here comes Gabriel Perry getting to the inside of Tim Silman there. Trying to make a pass for 3rd position. And behind them, Mitchell Welker trying to race alongside the 06 of Brian Green as they come onto the back straightaway. And you can see Gabriel Perry swerving all over the track as he's able to get ahead of Tim Silman. Up for the lead, though, Thomas George chasing down Jeff Ward for the lead. See Thomas George trying to build up a draft on the 89 car, and behind them, Silman and Perry still fighting for position. Also been behind them now to the outside of Welker. Here comes Tyler Hensley, and behind him, Thomas Bresci, currently behind with his teammate. Ooh, Hensley off the wall, hits the wall. He's going to be sliding down the infield. As I try to catch him as he's falling down the order, there he is to the inside. Heavy damage to his nose. And it looks like he's going to be able to get back going again. So tough break for Hensley, but we'll cut back up to the front of the field here, still battling for position. Here comes Brian Green now. He's caught up to Silman and Gabriel Perry as they're fighting it out. Further back in the pack, relatively calm as everyone actually took the restart pretty calmly. I think with the single file, it's really helped that out. Here comes Gabriel Perry to the outside of Travis McQuiston, both those drivers fighting for position. And I think what happened with Hensley, I think he got too tight coming off of 2. I think underestimated, and as I say, that caution is out here. And I'm not sure. Ooh, it's Justin Schwingle and Joshua Gillett, and I believe John Wilco involved as well. And we'll try to grab the replay of that incident. Here you see these guys now coming through the front straightaway, and we're right on board with Justin Schwingle here. And you can see the 75 get loose in turn 2, which is kind of interesting that he got loose. And then you see Schwingle trying to go to the outside of Gillett, but then just got collected in that wreck. And you see everyone fanning out behind him. Let's take another look at that replay from Gotta hit a button there, but we're back at Atlanta. Hopefully, I shouldn't have to say that anymore here tonight. Again, some more internet issues plaguing us right now, and again, sorry, I do apologize. Nothing I can particularly do about it, as we live in an apartment, so we're dependent on our building to sort out its internet. We can't really do anything to remedy it from our side of things. But Thomas George is going to lead the field back to green. Tim Silman listed as his paint's gonna be low, that's why I didn't recognize him. But Tim Silman is in second, Gabriel Perry third, Brian Green in fourth, Mitchell Welker in fifth, Philip Radocic has moved up to sixth place, Zach Buchanan in seventh, Gail Brooks eighth, Travis McQuistion ninth, and Daniel Roper, who started in the back of the field, is currently up into 10th. So solid job by him to move himself up a few spots, but pace car is going to be off, and we're going to get ready to go green here, coming to lap 14. And green flag is back in the air here at Atlanta. You see the 0-6 of Brian Green get all out of control. Oh, and the 7 of Mitchell Welker actually ended up passing the 0-6 of Brian Green. I hope he didn't get a penalty, but we'll see as they race off into turn 1. And you see Radocic now to the inside, Welker to the outside, trying to defend his position. Up in the front, the top three are broken away, but there's still a single file. Here comes Zach Buchanan to the inside with Daniel Roper to the outside. Now still trying to make up some ground, and some fantastic driving from the 61 to get himself up a few spots. He's had 2 cautions to kind of play some strategy to get himself up in position, and he's done exactly just that. And you can see up ahead of him, I believe that is not Welker, that is Gail Brooks on the outside, or Gail Brooks on the inside now trying to hold off Daniel Roper. Up ahead of Daniel Roper, Zach Buchanan holding bay. And up in the front, Tim Silman has gotten around Thomas George. He's going to take the lead of this race on lap 15. So solid up. Here comes Thomas George now to the inside again. And Silman just slamming the door shut. We've seen this in the Cup race too. It's kind of hard to try to get a pass for the lead. It's just so hard. It really depended on the draft here with this package. But in behind, Perry also sucked up here, and some battling going on midfield. And here's where a lot of this stuff goes crazy. Don Runkle Jr. celebrating after his win last week. He's having a pretty good run up here inside the top 20. At the moment, he's got a bunch of cars around him. Brian Yazik, Norman Pelletier, just to mention a few. But you see these guys all pretty much in a pack, like you see in the Cup Series, as they're trying to sort themselves out. Oh, Philip Radocic now looking racy up in the front. He's looking to the inside of Gabriel Perry. And these two guys are now side by side racing for position. Mitchell Welker kind of out by himself, currently in 5th. He's kind of just trying to catch up to the guys in front of him without losing position. There you see his teammate now, Zach Buchanan in the 40, trying to work himself on the inside. Roper still holding him at bay in 6th after, again, doing a fantastic job moving himself up from, I believe, starting in 36, so moved up to 6th place. A solid job by him. You can still see some guys battling for position. Brian Green, who spun his tires on the restart, is still paying the price, trying to get himself sorted out here, still losing some positions. There you see Brian Yazik working the outside lane, trying to build up a run. In fact, let's ride on board with the 55 car. And from what I've been hearing, it's been pretty hard to pass with this newer package. But these guys are trying to make do with what they got at bay, and there you see up ahead, still fighting for position. Radocic to the inside of Perry, couldn't make the pass done. And now Radocic using the outside lane, and he might be able to build up a run here. And off the back bumper of Thomas George, you see Radocic with a big run here. He's got the draft as well, which is so much more effective now. Which is a weird thing to say at a speedway like Atlanta, but with this newer package, that draft really a big player. In behind them, Mitchell Welker and Daniel Roper fighting for position. This is for 5th place. Ooh, and a big wreck involving the 43. Daniel Roper over on his roof, and cautions out, taking on a huge amount of drivers. A lot of big names in this series. And we'll catch a replay of what just happened there. And that started with the 43 and I believe the 13 getting together. And so here they come off onto the front straightaway. And Perry just misjudged that, got into the 43, and they see Roper and Welker getting involved. I saw Zach Buchanan also spinning from that. We'll actually ride on board next with Zach Buchanan. We'll take his view of this. So here they are in the middle of 3 and 4, and off the turn they come onto the front straightaway, and everything's just pretty much fine. Then you see Perry's going to get into the 43. They're going to go spinning off into the infield. And Buchanan got on the brakes, trying to avoid this. Got in the wall, trying to get around flipping Daniel Roper, and damage to his car. You can see a small glimpse of the damage off of Zach Buchanan's car. We'll take another look. This is from Nick Cohen, who's currently in 27th, trying to move himself with the field. You can kind of see up ahead that Buchanan is missing his rear bumper, but the drivers are on pit road here to pit under caution. Here we have quite a few cautions, I believe 3 so far tonight. Ooh, and Gale Brooks slides through his pit stall, and he was running pretty well in a high position. He's going to lose a few spots here. Drew Carroll also sliding through his pit stall, and he's up in the points battle as well, so that's going to cost him here on this caution. But here you see now Thomas George going to get out ahead. He's going to take the lead of this race. Tim Silman, followed by Travis McQuistion and Jeff Ford. That's going to be your top 5 off the pit road. How about Kevin Bartelt? Moving himself up into 6th place. Good run out of the 51 car. And Brian Green, Scott Eckridge, Brian Yazik, and Gail Brooks will round out your top 10. Everyone coming down on pit road to take tires. I think you kind of need to on just how much these tires... Oh, actually, not everyone came down on pit road. Nick Cohen is still out there. And I'm kind of curious if he's going to lead a lap, maybe try to come down to the pits. I think that's what it looks like he's planning on doing. I think he's going to peel off. He's on the yep, there he goes, peeling off. So they'll give the lead of this race back to Thomas George here after a fantastic pit stop. So after a bunch of technical difficulties and a bunch of cautions, we're here coming to lap 24 under caution, third one of the night. Again, drivers still trying to work themselves out with this newer package, trying to get a feel for it and trying to figure out how the car is handling. And again, a lot of unknowns for these drivers currently getting to the race. Also, small update on my partner, Jared Mackey. Unfortunately, he has got an error saying that iRacing does not appear to be running on his system. So, a lot of problems playing SYM TV tonight. So, we still try to struggle through it. Hopefully, Jared can at least at some point get up here in the booth to join us. But here we are now, pacing still on, looks like the 75 of Joshua Gillett, who was involved in an earlier caution. He's going to stay out behind the pace car. He's going to try to get a wave around. He's currently 6 laps down, so it's a tall order for the 75 to get back on the lead lap, but nice to see him still trying. Update for the race so far, we had, I believe we had, it looks like 39 people take the green flag. We have 3 or so drivers out. Looks like looks like we got 5 drivers out of the race. 6. Justin Rodden, Evan Adams, Josh Gallagher, Dustin Schwingle, Gabriel Perry, and Daniel Roper. We have 33 still running on the track, 32 on the lead lap. So nice numbers to see, at least still a decent amount of drivers left, but they're slowly getting smaller as this race goes on. And again, these drivers just try to get a feel for this newer package because they've been racing with the lower downforce package now for about 2 or so years, probably even more than that. And so to jump with so much more downforce and a lot more movement with this car, that you can move around the corners a lot more, make some moves. It's a very different style of racing, almost similar to IndyCar, which is a very weird thing to say because I never in my life would have thought that stock car racing would end up like IndyCar racing, but here we are nonetheless. So Thomas George is going to lead the field back to green. Tim Silman is going to be in 2nd. Travis McQuistion in 3rd. Jeff Ward 4th. Kevin Bartelt in 5th. Again, single file restarts for you guys, and it really does seem to help out these restarts. I gotta say that was a good call from the admins to just kind of minimize the amount of 3-wide action that is accustomed to this newer package on the speedways, as we've seen in the Cup series. But it's very dangerous with the internet issues that people may have, some net coding here and there. So I think this is a good way to try to avoid that. But pace car is gonna be off, and we're gonna get the green flag here coming to lap 26, and green flag back in the air here at Atlanta. And a lot. Alright, from the looks of it, just now gotten it back up for the lead. Very intense battle. Here comes Tim Silman along the outside of Thomas George, and a big pack forming up behind them for the lead here. You see Jeff Ward, Travis McQuistion, Brian Green, Scott Ackrich all fighting for position. As I head off into one, Tim Silman's going to rock the outside lane, and you can see this almost looks like Daytona. This does not look like Atlanta at all. McQuistion rolling that high lane, trying to build up a run there. And you can see Thomas George trying to hold in that inside lane, but just doesn't have any momentum, and he loses it a lot on corner exit, and that's really where the outside lane kind of prevails with this newer package. And it looks like McQuistion might have a chance of getting into second place here. Again, this is where the most intense battle on the track here for the lead. And Brian Green, with a great recovery, spun his tires on the last restart, fell outside the top 10, is able to now fight for 5th place. See him holding Jeff Ward to the inside, building up that run. He gets ahead of Jeff Ward for 4th place. In behind them, Kevin Bartel having one of the best runs I've seen him have in a long time, up in 6th place, so he's enjoying himself with this newer package. But it looks like Tim Silman's starting to break away just a little bit from the rest of the field. Thomas George not making any ground on that inside lane. Here comes McQuistion to his outside. He's going to just barely get the spot. Just not enough to clear him. Let's ride on board with Brian Green in behind. And you see Brian Green backing off here, trying to giving McQuistion some space here. McQuistion still rolling that outside lane and just doesn't have enough power to really make that outside lane work at the moment. Thomas George now to the inside, trying to build up a run. It looks like he might have some second life here, but as these guys fight side by side, Silman's actually starting to break away here by about 3 tenths of a second, which normally wouldn't be too much, but with this package, it means quite a bit. Every 10th counts with this newer style of racing. And here comes Travis McQuistion, still trying to roll that outside lane. I think he might be able to get Thomas George here off the corner. And nope, George still has barely a fender in there. And there you see McQuistion come down in front of Thomas George. He's going to secure second place there. As you can see, now most feel entirely single file. I think this might be these guys trying to set up a run here for the long run here, set up for the long haul. Jeff Ward losing some spots on that restart here. He's going to be trying to make some of them up. And here comes now Thomas George fighting again on the inside. McQuistion, he really wants that spot, but you can see every single lap as it goes by that Silman's starting to break further and further away from the rest of these guys. McQuistion now still building up a run to the outside. Where does Brian Green go? We've seen him just kind of sitting behind McQuistion and Thomas George and just has no place at all to go to. He's kind of just stuck in behind. I think he's trying to figure out which one of them is faster, but can't entirely decide because they're just so equal. But I can imagine that Tim Silman is definitely loving this. I mean, you can look at right now, you can see on the timing screen that he's 0.6 of a second ahead from the rest of the pack. And it's going to be really hard to catch him now. Chasing down these gaps like this is so hard now to do, considering everyone's car is so equal. Well, McQuistion's still rolling that outside lane. Looks like Brian Green's going to dedicate himself to that outside lane. And Jeff Ward also trying to find a place in all this. And now about Scott Ackrich also trying to make up a few spots. Currently our points leader after a fantastic last few races has been really able to get that car to the front of the field and make up some valuable points. So he's going to try to be defending his points lead here. And in behind, further back here, we see Drew Carroll and Woody Mahan fighting for position. Drew Carroll's trying to make up some spots. Fell back on the last pit stop sequence, so he's trying to make up some ground there. Back up front with this battle. McQuistion looks like he's winning, but ever so slightly ahead of Thomas George. And again, I don't think this side by side right now that they're doing is doing them any favors. They're losing a lot of time to Tim Silman up ahead. Ooh, a big wiggle from Thomas Bresci in the back of the pack. He's struggling at the moment, trying to make up some ground here. And as well as some other drivers around him. Don Runkle currently running in 6th. Alright, we're back here yet again at Atlanta. We're under caution at the moment, and it looks like it was relatively recently. I'm trying to figure out who was involved in it. It looks like Don Runkle was involved in that last caution, or at least he's retired at the moment, but brace off of pit road for the rest of these drivers. Tim Silman's going to be inheriting the lead with Travis McQuistion, who's shown that he's got quite a bit of pace here. He's going to be in 2nd, Thomas George in 3rd, Brian Green 4th, and Scott Eckridge is going to be in 5th place at the moment. Kevin Bartold still in 6th, Brian Yazik 7th, Greg Evans in 8th, Drew Carroll 9th, and Gail Brooks in 10th. So, a bunch of internet issues here, so I'm trying to deal with them the best that I can. The connection is kind of dropping randomly, and I have absolutely no control over it, so hopefully it stays up again, although last time I said it, it failed me yet again. So from the looks of that last caution, it looks like Runkle was involved in it. I see Welker down a pit road, but I think he's fixing existing damage. I believe Hurley is doing relatively the same thing, and it looks like Fred Thompson also has got some damage. I think Fred Thompson and John Runkle ran into each other. Gabriel Perry, sorry, not Gabriel Perry, Thomas Bresci also was down on pit road for quite a bit, but I think he's fine. His car looks to be in good shape, although he's back in 27th place at the moment. So 4th, I believe the 4th caution of the night here at Atlanta. Again, drivers still sorting things out here. Ooh. So Kevin Bartold's moved up a few spots, and I'm trying to see, that means that someone lost some positions. I'm trying to figure out who that is. Was it Brian Green? Interesting. So someone who was in the top 5 that was just running just fell back a few spots, wasn't able to catch that in time. But again, here we are at Atlanta for round number 5 of the Fuel HostVenom Cup Series here under caution for the 4th time. Yeah, we saw some pretty interesting racing with this package, especially under that last restart. Missed a bit of that battle as I was trying to get the connection to come back, and it fortunately came back to life instead of kicking me out of the server. So we saw some interesting double file racing up front. But what I'm really seeing is that when these guys are battling, especially around second, third place, if they're fighting side by side, the leader starts to break away from the rest of the field. So I'm curious on how Thomas George and Travis McQuistion are going to sort that out, because as they were battling, someone almost got to about a second lead ahead of them, and that's a lot of time to make up here. It's so hard to make up time as it is with how even these cars are now. But I'm interested in seeing how these guys are going to deal with it. But here we are, Silman going to lead the field back to green. And also, guy we haven't talked about a lot tonight, Greg Evans, has been pretty quiet, which is saying a lot for our defending series champion. Dominated last season and is trying to do much of the same, although I feel like it will be harder for him this season considering how much more equal everyone's cars are, with that 46 still up in the top 10, still trying to compete here and doing a pretty good job so far in this race. Also some notables throughout the field. Timothy Johnson stuck back in 18th, and he has some major nose damage to his car, so I'm not sure what happened to him with all the issues of me trying to get back in the server. Not sure what happened to him, but he's dealing with a damaged race car. We're going to get the green flag back here again. We got 27 drivers on the lead lap. Pace car is going to be off. And green flag back here at Atlanta. Tim